Hello there horse racing fans and welcome back to the channel. We're back with a trio of selections at Redcar on the straight course. I should stress, as two of the races on the round course have been abandoned. The ground is quite heavy, it's going to make for some unpredictable results. So I've gone with a trio of horses at huge prices, hopefully to land a little bit of luck and a nice pot along the way. But it's just a quiet day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for me as we build towards the Breeders' Cup on Friday and Saturday. That's going to be some cracking action over in Keeneland, and I'll be bringing plenty of tips, so do make sure to subscribe. I think I've got some winners lined up. There's one on the Friday which I am very sweet on as well, so do make sure to tune into Friday's preview of the Breeders' Cup. But hopefully we can have a few nice big winners here to set us up on Friday and Saturday, and the first one's going to come in the first race at Redcar. I think some of the times has changed, so initially it is the 12:20. I think it is being pushed back slightly, and it's going to be one at 80-1 in the form of Yorkstone, trained by Michael Easterby, and at 80-1 in the market it looks slightly overpriced for all it didn't do much on its debut. It made its debut in a claiming stakes, and one of the horses was acting up beforehand and it missed the kick and it didn't really know its job at all. The yard horses usually do step forward for the run, so I'm hoping better today, none more so than I am actually part of the racing club that is running under. That's probably more of the tip than anything, but I did see him on a yard visit only about 2 weeks ago and he worked very well. The trainer was very happy with him. He didn't know what happened at Redcar first time out. We're hoping for better today. The ground probably is an unknown, but if he does go on it and some of the others don't act on it, then he can probably run into a place. You might want to look at the extra place markets as well with the B9 runners, but he definitely could. He can't run any worse than he did first time out. That's probably not enough reason to tip it up, but at 80-1 I'm going to have a little poke, especially with Flight Plan probably being the most likely winner, being a non-runner as well. So that's not the strongest race of all time, although the Michael Dodds horse probably should be winning this quite easily. My next tip comes a few races later in the 120, and it's a horse that I've put in a recent tracker video, Indication Rocket, trained by Rebecca Menzies, who at 10-1 looks to be ahead of the handicapper. Whether this horse can show it today on the soft ground, that is an unknown, because when this horse first ran it was on soft ground and it did underperform. Whether that's because he was in need of the experience and just couldn't show it on debut, that might have been a reason. I'm hoping that's why. I don't think Rebecca Menzies would run this horse on ground that would be unsuitable. It is heavy ground, but his penultimate start when finishing fourth at Redcar was very unlucky, had no run at all under Paul Mullen and got out and just flew home, late home, but was beaten into fourth by just over 2 lengths, was definitely an unlucky loser, and then had the race at his mercy at Newcastle when beaten by an Andrew Baldwin horse who was on handicap debut. That probably wasn't a too bad run. For all the world he looked like he was going to win that day. Graham Lee seemed confident enough, but then just couldn't see out the 1 mile 2 furlong trip. Drops back to a mile today. That probably is going to be a positive, and at 10-1 in the market may be worth a little bit each way. Definitely one that'll win off a mark of 58. Whether it's on today's ground under today's circumstances, that's another question, but definitely if you're not playing this horse on heavy ground today, stick him in your tracker. And the final selection comes in a very competitive 2:30, 7 furlongs handicap. There's some pretty decent horses in here and they all kind of are exposed. It's just finding the one that's going to probably run to form or looks to be well treated, and the one that's probably the most well treated of them all is the Michael Dodds trained horse, not the favourite, Queen's Sergeant, who runs off a mark of 73, has last won, I should say, off a mark of 81 on soft ground at Catterick about this time last year. Has dropped down to a very handy mark, ran pretty well at the race a couple of weeks ago at York. That was off a mark of 78, and a few decent runs at Catterick. He's dropped another £5 in the handicapper after that. Laura Coughlin takes off a valuable bit of weight as well, so I just think it's got a nice race in weight now. The conditions, big field, it has run well in big field races before. The ground isn't too much of an issue, so if it can have a smooth run through, because it probably will be held up at least in mid-division or further back. If it can get a nice run through, then it looks to be a very good bet at 16-1. So there's my trio of selections for today's racing. Look, the ground is pretty heavy at Redcar. Anything could be winning. Hopefully one of mine can run well, maybe run into a place. We only need one to place at a big price and then we've got profit for a day. But either way, we're building up towards the Breeders' Cup on Friday and Saturday. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment your best bet, preferably one at a big price as well on today's action. See you next time.